All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Lucent Truth, and we are the Lucent Troupe. Starting with, to my top right, Carbon X. Say what's up to everybody, Carbon.
All right.
It's never any kind of excitement with you. Yes. All right, right below him is Johnny Mozzarella.
Johnny Motz, a.k.a. Johnny Mozzarella, a.k.a. Quasar, a.k.a. John McMurray.
Yes, sir.
And right below
Yes,
me
yes.
is King 81, aka Arsenal Beats.
All day, ready to get this chat started.
And lastly, a longtime friend of ours, Mr. Hyper Magnetic or Hyper King. Say what's up to everybody. So you're not going to say anything, Hyper King. You're just going to stand down there in the corner. At least say hello to everybody. Okay.
We can't even see him.
he won't turn on the camera.
well-
He won't turn on the camera. He's more shy than Carbon X.
Yeah, I'm here.
Like,
I was trying to.
I'm not down to be famous.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute.
Talking about, dude.
Oh, you're trying to unmute. Okay.
But I'm here.
All
Yeah,
right.
I was trying to unmute. Sorry. But
Oh.
yes, hello.
Welcome,
Greetings.
welcome.
All right. So the first thing
Yes.
we're going to do, guys, is I wanted to tell you guys about the next podcast. We're going to do a review show for a movie that Travis Pearson recommended, and it's called The Last Supper. So we're going to do the entire show based on that movie. So there's your only homework after this show is over, is to make sure you watch that movie before next Friday. It's called The Last Supper. Came out in 1996. We're going to watch a trailer on it a little bit later on. We're going to do John's thing first, I think. Yeah, we'll do John's things first. And but it's called The Last Supper. Came out in 1996. We're going to do a review on it. He said that he wants to talk about the movie because he thinks it's a little ahead of its time and it's somewhat relevant to all the things that's going on in the country today. And we should probably watch it. So I figured we would do that. It would be something a little different too. But the first thing is we're going to talk about
We can find it
John's.
like on a movie streaming. Like,
I'm not sure. That's a good question. We'll figure that out when we watch the trailer to see if you can rent it on YouTube. It's called The Last Supper. But the first thing we're going to talk about
The Last
John's
Supper. All right, cool.
topic, and he wanted to discuss the new Zelda video game, which is called The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. First, we're going to do a trailer reaction to it, so we'll just watch the trailer real quick, and everyone, let me know if you can hear this. Good. I'm going to say we're good. It's like Orlando bounced. Okay. John, since this is your topic, I'm going to kind of let you say your piece on it.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really know a whole lot about the game. I didn't follow all the hype because I think it's better to just go into it kind of blind. I think it leaves a better impression. It kind of reminds me of like all the hype that went behind Cyberpunk 2077. People followed it for like 10 years, and then when it finally got released, they were disappointed because I guess some stuff got taken out or deleted or whatever the case may be. But I went in it with fresh eyes and didn't know anything about it, so I actually enjoyed it. So I don't really know a whole lot about this. I played the first one. Actually, WT is the one who actually put me on it because I didn't own a Switch. He had a Switch for his son, and I just played it with him, and it was really fun. It was like one of the best games. Matter of fact, I think it won Game of the Year in 2017. So this is like 6 years in the making, and then they finally released it this month. But they said it's pretty much everything that Breath of the Wild is plus more, and you can tell from the first trailer that it has way more verticality in the game. Which the first one,
verticality. Please explain for non-gamers.
It means like you can go far up in the atmosphere. Like It's not just like a ground level where you're kind of grounded, where you can go. There's a lot of dimensions to the game. It's not just a ground or underground or going in caves, but you can actually go into like the sky. You saw where you had like floating not planets, but floating structures and terraforms, and it just looks pretty cool. I mean, I watched a couple of things, but not only that, but they said that in the game you can create like your own structures and make them run and make them work and like combine your swords, and it's just all types of crazy stuff. Like everyone so far that's played the game has been like, if you love Breath of the Wild, you got to play Tears of the Kingdom. Like I said, I don't have a Switch yet, so I can't play it, but eventually at some point I do want to give it a shot, because I think if you're a true Zelda fan, you have to play this game. But it just got released, and it's already like breaking records. And since there's not a whole lot of competition, because Redfall kind of fell flat.
Redfall?
And yeah, Redfall is a big game from Arcane that came out last month. And it just fell flat on its face. A lot of gamers are trashing it, and they're saying that it's really bad.
That game was horrible.
Yeah. It's a multiplayer shooter, but it has not done well. But it was a big release, and it just kind of fell flat. Played by a bunch of performance issues and like other stuff. And then
I don't play video games, but also it just looks really generic.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it had like a lot of hype, but the stuff that I saw from it, I'm like, okay, what differentiates this from any other game? I just didn't see it, so I really wasn't all that hyped about it. But when it came out, it was pretty much a consensus that this sucks. But another big title that came out this year was Forspoken, but that kind of underperformed too. So as of right now. Forspoken. It came out for PS5 and PC, exclusive.
Microsoft's doing kind of bad right now, if you think about it. Man.
I think I did see a trailer for
You said what?
Microsoft's doing kind of bad right now, if you think about it, bro. They haven't released no good exclusives.
Yeah, they haven't.
Who knows how many years, bro? What are they doing, dude?
It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Microsoft, but I mean, come on, it's Microsoft. They're going to turn it around. I mean, they are hoping that.
Game Pass can only do so much. I'm sorry, dude. Game Pass is the only thing they have. They have not really. I mean, I play Xbox too. And I'm like, they have not released anything good. And they even ruined Halo, man. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good. But they did acquire Activision. They still have time. The next biggest one is Starfield, and I think we've looked at that before. That's the new game by Bethesda. So when Starfield drops in November, if Starfield does well, it kind of helps smoothen out some of the issues that they have with some of these other titles. So, but now if Starfield fails, then they might have some problems. But I mean, they all say these things, but I mean, at the end of the day, these are $1 billion companies. It's going to take a lot for these companies to go under. It's just going to take a lot, and because they already have so many. Now they haven't sold nowhere near as many units as the PS5, but that's not. I really don't think that was Microsoft's goal going into this generation of gaming. Was to compete because they knew they couldn't compete with PS5 because they have the exclusives, and they know that's just a brand. That's the reason why I think they shifted and they went with the Series S and the Series X, and they made their Xbox Game Pass
series
available
what now?
to
Series
PC.
what?
Yeah, the next generation of gaming is the Xbox Series S, which is more of a 1440p gaming rig, and then the Series X, which is a quote unquote 4K gaming console. But it's just the next generation. It's to compete with the PS5 basically. So basically so they kind of knew they couldn't compete with PS5. I mean, PS4 sold so many. So what they did was they just made the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass. So and they released day ones on there. So if they can't compete with them as far as units sold, they can at least offer more content. And that's basically how they're trying to keep up with Sony in the gaming arena.
So
and they bought out. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to ask both, or all three of you, because I think Derry games too. Not as much as you guys, but I think he still games. Now it seems like Nintendo has taken a different route. They're not trying to get the like when I'm looking at, and I looked at this Tears of the Kingdom, it didn't look like it was like the top-notch graphics. I mean, it looked good, but it wasn't like whatever.
Yeah, Brian, I got something to say about that.
Hold on, let me finish saying, but then you can chime in right after me. But it just seems like maybe they focus just on making a good game, and they don't really care as much about if it has the highest graphic fidelity or whatever. Why isn't people like Xbox trying to go that route? If all their games are failing,
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, I think Carbon X is kind of. I mean, even though you have all these reports and stuff, like they're kind of jumping the gun. I mean, we're only 2 years into this. I mean, let's be real. Yes, PS5.
Yeah, but they haven't made a good game in a while. That's the problem, dude. They haven't made any hits or sexy game, and they're created one. Yeah,
but
so long, it's getting ridiculous. It's been at least 5 years.
But that's the thing, though. But Microsoft was never. They were never the company to make like these really really good exclusive games. I mean, Halo was
Halo back in the day. Yeah, Halo back in the day.
That's what I'm saying. Halo was probably their biggest one, but I mean, you're talking 1999. I mean, for the most part, for the most part, we're talking consumer. I mean, they've been the more consumer friendly gaming company. You know what I'm saying? Like they're geared towards more consumers. Like so, if they can get all tiers of gaming, that's what they're going to do. PS5 is just for more of like serious gamers. You know what I'm saying? But for Microsoft is just like, okay, I'm going to get you this tier of gaming. I'm going to get you this tier of gaming, and then we also have PC. So they're a lot more spread out. Where PlayStation and Sony is just like, nope, you're going to get the Sony. And even though they are starting to get into PC gaming now, they're starting to release some of their old PS4 games and they're porting them to PC because it's a huge market that they could have been taking advantage of this entire time. But irregardless, Microsoft always, I feel like they've always focused more on the consumer experience. And that's the reason why all their UI looks so much better than Sony, because Sony doesn't really care. You know what I'm saying? Even though the PS5 user interface looks a lot better than the PS4 interface, because for so long they just didn't care. Like they're just like, okay, no, we're just gonna pump out these games or whatever. Well, Microsoft, I think they care about not just the gaming, but the user experience. So it's easier for a family to be like, okay, what gaming rig am I gonna get where it's gonna entertain my 3-year-old, but it's also gonna entertain the adults? Well, that's Microsoft. What the most value, what am I going to get? Am I going to pay PS Plus? I got to pay this huge amount of money and only get a few games, and I'm only get a few single player games, or I'm going to get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, where I can put on any of my Xboxes. I can put it on my gaming computer or my gaming laptop, and it has this huge library from games that date all the way back.
So they have more flexibility.
Yeah, they have more. Yeah, I mean, their audience is much bigger. Where PlayStation, it's like, I ain't gonna say it's niche, but there's only a certain. You're not gonna get the full spectrum. But that's the reason why Nintendo does so well, because Nintendo, they found their niche, and they're just like, okay, we can't compete with these huge companies.
Yeah, Nintendo. I think Nintendo's always been about the general audience, and the general audience, including families, family-friendly game, family-friendly content, and it's shined like that over the years. And Zelda being one of those titles, it's an exciting game. I think I played Breath of the Wild.
Can I ask you guys something though when it comes to Zelda, because I've never seen the appeal ever since the first Zelda game. You know, the gold cartridge that came for the original Nintendo. It looked so horrible that I was like, I just could never get into it. Wait, let me say, but as the character,
sales of the game, bro. What the
I know, but I'm just I hear you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm asking you guys, like, what's the appeal? Because I look at Link and he looks like a punk bitch. It's hard for me to take him seriously. I don't find him interesting. Like, look at this.
Brian, come on, man.
Like, what the hell is this? What is this? Now, is this official art? That looks kind of cool. You know, look at this guy. Look at him. Is this kind of fan art that Zelda is?
No, bro. No, bro. What are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
But Brian, I mean, Zelda is like, he's like the epitome of like
that's kind of
fantasy adventure. I mean, what more could a kid want than it's an elf with a shield and a sword fighting monsters and saving the princess.
He looks like a girl.
I mean,
he looks like who looks like they could play Link, the trans man from
Evil Dead Rising.
Yeah. I never found the appeal.
Brian, what the
I'm sure the games have progressed way beyond the gold cartridge Zelda game from Nintendo. I'm sure the gameplay is good. It's just from an aesthetic, it's never appealed to me. I know Mike. Mike's having a rolling in his. I say Mike's alive. I say rolling in his grave, but I'm making the carbon thing where he thought George Lucas was dead. But I'm sure Mike is. If he sees this, it's gonna be like, because Mike is a big Zelda fan too. But look at this.
Well, he's rolling in his bed. Okay, you better make him roll his bed.
Look at this. Like, I just don't. Well, that was kind of cool. Where's that image at? I guess.
When you look at the oldest design, you look at some of the newer designs. He's gotten a lot.
I was about to say, you have to look at the newer designs.
Like, man, most characters. Man, look at Mickey Mouse, bro, and his old design, bro. Man, looks super goofy. Okay, it's like
but Mickey Mouse is supposed to be goofy. He was designed to be goofy. I'm not saying
but he looks a lot better in modern day interpretation than it's
I'm not saying older
times look a lot worse.
I'm not saying Link looks goofy. Well, this looks goofy, but that's probably more stylized for a different type of game.
I think that looks cool, and I think that kind of goes towards my point earlier about Nintendo applying to a general audience.
Yeah.
To have characters that can be identified by different people.
They have iconic characters too. That's pretty iconic character.
It's a stylistic application, so you can have like a rough, rugged Link. You can have a playful Link, a kitty-looking Link.
Right.
He always looks stupid though, in my opinion. Like, it's rare. It's few images that I've seen. Like, oh, that's pretty hardcore. Like this one right here, I think it's because. But I think it's more this guy's style of art that makes it look cool. Just his general design is annoying to me. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's just it's classic. It's just
it's just like
it's a classic look. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna change up.
This looks kind of cool. I have to admit, with the shield and the sword and the stance, looks kind of cool. But still don't like the tunic thing. I don't know.
That's a part of his
but that's part of it. That's
look at that. Hold on, Brian, scroll back up. This is one aspect of.
I'm scrolling. What am I looking at?
In earlier, the one right there, Breath of the Wild, and he's like crouched down a little.
This one?
No, the one right above it. Yeah. So, Earlier I said I played it. I never really played it. I watch other people play. I enjoy watching other people play Quest games. But Breath of the Wild, which was interesting to me, how Nintendo took the approach of putting Link in a quest where you can gather materials and kind of form your character as you're playing the game. I thought that was the most unique approach of this game title.
I've heard a lot of good things about this game, but like again, I don't play him, so I wouldn't know. But I heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, and John Mont was mentioning earlier, like the latest game, because I caught a small glimpse from like one of the game designers, and to me, it sort of reminded me of like Minecraft. Like you can essentially craft tools and craft structures to propel you through the story, and elements like that in games kind of keeps the game, I guess the corporate term that John used, vertical. Right? So you get more value from playing it over time.
You guys think Tom Holland would make a good Link?
No.
Who's that?
He's the guy that plays
Tom Holland. He plays Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
He has kind of a boyish look to him. I think they gave him elf ears. He could pull off elf.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they should make a live action.
Who's the actor from earlier you were mentioning, Brian, from Evil Dead?
Evil Dead.
Oh my god.
Evil Dead Rise. Yeah.
What was the trans man's name?
Oh, the boy, the brother.
Yeah, the brother. Because it's a chick that's playing. Yeah, this guy or her.
Oh yeah. That would be perfect. Yeah, that is Link.
There's Link right there. Yeah, but
Those are kind of like
we're gonna stop teasing him.
What was that?
we'll get to that. That's some other content that we're going.
Okay.
But anything else you guys want to say about this particular game or the gaming industry? I mean, we got another game we're going to cover a little bit later on too.
All right, we're gonna move. Nintendo stayed true to their games, I guess.
You said a what?
Nintendo's definitely stayed true to their games. I'll just say it for sure.
Yeah, like John said, I think they found their niche and they found that market, and that's what they appealed to. Which is good business sense. I think
they're like, nah, we won't change it up, guys.
Well, it's good business sense because, and this is something that Uncle Dave, if he was here, would reiterate. This is what he went to school for. This is what he got his master's degree in, and that is when you try to appeal to everyone, ultimately you don't appeal to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because your content becomes so generalized. That's why that one game John was talking about looks so generic, and it's like, and it's just like, okay, well, it doesn't really appeal to anybody, so ultimately no one wants to play it. And Disney is going through the same thing right now. They're trying to appeal to everybody. When one time they were a family-friendly oriented company, and their media reflected that. Now they're trying to appeal to every little subgroup and counterculture group and minority group. So now it's all over the place, and their content's all over the place. They got they're getting everybody in the creative field, I guess, to be inclusive, but now they're suffering for it because you're not getting people for talent. It'd be different. They got talented people to be inclusive, but they would just happen to be of a particular gender or ethnic group. But they're getting a bunch of talentless hacks in there, like Charmine Obai Chindoy or that other woman that's directing The Acolyte. So that's what you get. You don't get any money because no one wants to see it. But we're gonna move on. Tell us a little bit about what you're working on, your methods, what kind of techniques you use, your software that you use. Tell us about those things.
Yeah, I'm just using Blender. Yeah, that's one of the free 3D softwares you can
speak
get.
Up. You gotta speak up, man.
I was speaking the same way I was speaking the entire time, man. What are you talking about?
No, you were kind of low right there. Come on, man. Come on. Be excited about your work. This is your work, man.
I mean, like I said, I'm using Blender, This is one of the elf, this for the elf project we're working on. Brian designed the character. I'm just working on modeling the clothing, or technically armor. But, yeah, I mean, I just do regular modeling techniques, poly modeling with quad topology. There's not really much besides that.
Okay. We'll move on to your next piece here. Right here, it looks like you're doing some clothing design.
Yeah, this is the outfit I was making for a friend. He wanted some clothing for his character in VR chat, so I have a couple outfits. This is one that's like supposed to be a kimono. I tried texturing this myself. I'm not the best at texturing, so.
So for VR chat, how do you get it from your Blender or whatever 3D program you're using into VR chat?
Oh yeah, originally I made this in Marvelous, and then I exported the Blender to make sure everything's fine.
You made it in what?
Made it in Marvelous Designer.
Now what is that?
It's basically a program that has like a good cloth simulation. Like I wouldn't just say it's like fully realistic, but it's a pretty good cloth simulation. If you want to like realistic clothing, it's one of the best programs you can get for.
So you make your clothing in something. So you make your clothing in something like Marvelous Designer instead of Blender.
Yeah, I mean I can make it in Blender. It's just like the wrinkles and stuff, and it won't form the character as well. I mean, I can make it form the character. It's going to take like a lot more work out there to sculpt a lot. And
so Marvelous Designer is designed specifically to make 3D clothing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay. I can make clothing like 5 minutes compared to me spending like 30 minutes trying to make sure it fits the character properly.
Okay, I got you. Here's some of the other designs that he's done. It's like some kind of leather skirt here, and this is like
that's actually a personal character I'm working on for mine. Yeah. So this is my actual character I'm working on. This is like one of her outfits. She has like 3 outfits, and I don't really know what I was going for. I was just trying to just put some cool colors in and see what I can come up with. And, I mean, all this is I did polymodeling.
What does VR chat use? Does VR chat use
they use Unity as the main game engine.
Unity, okay.
Yeah, they use Unity.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, this is the pictures taken. These are pictures taken in Blender.
And this right here is like another. I like the design. Yeah, the texture on that one.
You did all the texture mapping on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only texture I didn't make. I mean, I just threw a texture on it, but I did all like the sculpting, the wrinkles, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
I mean, all the other textures I had to make, but that one that you saw, the last one, I didn't make that texture. I just took some random textures, put in the character. I mean, I still do all the lighting and stuff. It's just the actual texture. So it's just some random seamless texture I found online. As just like Chinese dress texture. Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to ask him a question, Orlando? Or was it Darren?
I was just saying that coming through.
It's coming in real.
Oh,
you're borging.
Oh, yeah, Darry asked the question.
Yeah, Darry, what was your question?
He said in general. I don't think he wants to lead his name. He said in general. But do you want to read it out, or do you want to look at? Yeah, go to like the general chat real quick so everybody can see the question you asked.
Why don't he just unmute and ask us the question?
Can
I don't know.
Yeah, you're borging. You're borging King 81.
Oh man.
Okay, you sound good, but say
maybe
something.
It's when you turn the camera on.
Yeah, just leave the camera off. If that'll work better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that work. Yeah, we'll just leave the camera off. All right.
Oh, so does it sound better right now?
Yeah, it sounds better. Yeah, you're not borging as much.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's audio, bro. So you wanted to wait on Derry to like reset his audio or whatever for asking the question or what?
All right, Derry asked, what exactly is VR chat in relation to 3D modeling? He said his audio just broke. He needs to reboot Discord. Okay.
So would you want to wait till he comes back or what for me?
No, go ahead and answer his question. His question is, when I hear VR chat, I think of text. What exactly is VR chat in relation to 3D modeling?
I mean, VR chat's like a social interactive game. It's supposed to be kind of like what the metaverse Facebook was supposed to be, but you know, the users actually control what's in the game, right? So it's basically like anybody. You don't have to in a little school. You literally, if you know a little bit about Unity, you can upload whatever kind of content you want to the game. And it's basically a game where people socialize. But
so it's like a sandbox.
You can really just do anything to it. It's similar to Second Life, but it's like in VR. You know, because Second Life tried to make VR called Pansar, which was horrible. I played that.
So VR is kind of like a sandbox type game.
You can make it sandbox, yeah. But it's like basically, you know, they can create their own world, right? People have like games inside the game, you know.
Yeah.
And by default, you're just supposed to talk to people, but there's all kinds of stuff you can do. You know,
like that.
If you know coding, right, you can make your own game inside. I've seen people make their own games. Inside. There's like racing, like laser tag, all kinds of stuff. Like people make story-driven stuff.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Is that the one
Let's
too
look
where
it
it's
up
like
real
a
quick.
boxing game as well too, where you do
There's
like
a
a
boxing
training?
game. That's
Yeah, I
in
think
that.
I've seen that.
There's even some people that have like full body, you know, where you can like even move your legs and everything. You know? And
Mhm.
you can play a desktop too if you don't have.
What's funny is I
VR.
was when Metaverse came out, and Derry was trying to talk about how it was going to be this new revolutionary thing, but the more people was talking
It
about it,
already
I'm like,
existed before then. Yeah,
it just sounds like stuff
this
that's
is
already
it.
out there. Like they've had stuff like this since like the
Yeah.
90s, like you know, kind of
Mhm.
like these online 3D world chat.
Yeah, that's
type
always
things.
existed. Yeah. There's plenty of games that do that. It's just VR chat's the only one that's successfully done it and have VR. And then there's some other ones, like a couple other ones that are underneath it, but VR chat's still the most popular one. There's like two others that are technically still pretty good. I forgot what they're called, but there's still two other ones that are still pretty popular.
Well, I know
but,
Second Life has been
Mhm.
around for a long time, and I think it's still going, right?
Yeah, it's still going, but it's like it has a different feel compared to VR chat.
Yeah, VR chat looks more anime-ish.
Not necessarily. It depends what group. That's kind of the dominant group. There's like a ton of subgroups in there, like almost any group you could think of. So, but
okay.
the two main groups are anime people, and furry people. That's the two main groups.
Oh god.
Then you start getting to a ton of stuff. You have like a ton of Star Wars people play. You got the people. What's that one game? Warhammer. You got all kinds of groups that play the game, but the anime and furry ones are the most popular. I would say for sure for what actually. But there are
Gotcha.
tons of other groups.
All right, I'm back. Can you
All
guys
right.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Sound,
Welcome back.
you sound much better too.
Welcome back.
All right, cool. Yeah.
You guys have any more questions?
I was just saying like that dress that you had up early. It reminds me
which
of
dress? This one? Is this one right here?
Indiana Jones and the Temple of.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. She was it the Temple of Doom. Yeah, remember when she had to wear that and she had to, with the monkey brains and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of a
Yeah.
Chun-Li,
Nah, you know what? I
Chun-Li
think that was
dress.
the first. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's dope though.
Yeah, this one right here, I think the texture needs a little work, but still pretty good.
Well, he said he liked it, so I was like, he liked it.
How much did he pay you for it?
There's still one problem that I ran into before I finished, right? So I was about to upload it, and for some reason, I don't know why. The character just can't talk. Like when your character talks in game, you can set it up so you have like shape keys, that actually mimic your character speaking, right? Whenever I upload it, I do everything right. I've reset it so many times, and the character doesn't speak, and that's the only problem I keep running into. I have everything else working. It's just that's the only problem I'm trying to fix. I gave it to him. He knows a little more about Unity than I do, so he might be able to fix it. So I haven't completely 100% fixed it because it's like, the outfits are done.
So I'm going to assume that it's $0 that you got paid. She didn't answer my question.
At the moment, yeah, but it's never 100% done. That's the thing, because I'm still one error with it, but just the outfits.
All right, okay. So how much would you charge to do like a full model and maybe some clothing for that model for something for VR chat? Someone wanted their custom.
You talking about you want like a full custom model, man, like a full custom character, man. Like I got to start at least at 400 because that's a quality stuff's no joke, man. Now the clothes I could charge about like 20 to 50 an outfit, depending on the complexity. But the base character itself, man, I'm gonna start for at least at 400 because depending what they want for a character, like they can get pretty crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. All right.
It takes a lot of time.
Anybody else have any other questions for Carbon X and the work that he's doing?
Is there like a certain style that you stick to?
I don't have a style.
Carbon, say like because I know like some people they like that like the realistic type of 3D, or are you more like into like the cartoonish type, or just not cartoonish, but it's not full realistic looking.
It looks more anime.
I don't have.
Yeah, anime. Yeah.
It looks kind of like anime style.
Seems like it's more what you gravitate towards. Carbon X is more anime-ish. Which is still cool. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But any other questions for Carbon? Hyper King, you got any other questions? I'll take your silence as a no.
King.
All right, we're going to move on to the next topic, which is oh, great work, by the way, Carbon X. Good job. Keep it up. Keep it up. We're going to move on to King 81's topic, and he wants to talk about the new Mortal Kombat teaser. So we're gonna watch it real quick, and starting now. Was that it?
Wait, what? No, there ain't no way. Nah,
Oh,
no.
hold on. Oh, no, that wasn't it. It just started coming through.
That don't
What
seem
was
right.
that,
dude.
dude?
Yeah, that didn't seem like a teaser
Do
at
it
all.
again.
Mortal Kombat 12. Is this it
Yeah,
right
we
here?
can watch
missed
that
it.
second time, bro. I
All
think I missed some details, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is it this one right here
The top one. The top one with the
with the clock?
the top one. The one with the clock.
Okay.
Yeah, the top one, yeah.
All right.
That one, yeah.
All right.
What the what are you trying to do, Orlando?
Now.
What was that? Nah, dude.
That's a horrible
Hey,
teaser. That's a horrible
now,
teaser.
no,
listen
now.
now. Hey, hold on.
Nah.
Just forget
Now
the whole
that-
game.
Now that is a definition of a trailer. That is a a definition of a teaser right there.
Nothing
I
was
was like,
teased
yo.
besides a clock. What
But
are you
it's like-
talking about? There was nothing they ever represented Mortal Kombat. What is
The
the clock?
thing,
got to
but
do with Mortal
okay, the
Kombat?
thing. Yes. Okay. You see, like with the 9, like it starts off at the 9, right? Remember, like with I think it was a PlayStation 3 or 4, where they came back with the Mortal Kombat 9, and it basically kind of start with kind of like in the beginning part, the first Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. And then you went through 9, and then when the clock ticks to 10, you had Mortal Kombat 10 that came out, and then you had Mortal Kombat 11 came out. And if you play 11 all the way through, they started experimenting with the everybody's doing the time thing, like going back in time and stuff like that. So like in Mortal Kombat 11, at the end of it, everything got reset. So that's why when you 12 come up at the clock, it's basically still saying Mortal Kombat 12, but it jumps to the 1, because basically saying, well, this is my interpretation of it, that basically when it goes back to the 1, they went back in time. Like basically time got reset. So basically, I'm assuming that you're going to start playing the actual Mortal Kombat game as the first. Oh gosh, who was it?
Look.
As the Great Kung Lao.
Because for people who don't follow the Mortal Kombat games, right?
Oh,
That
okay.
is a horrible.
Well, and a little bell.
It's horrible because we have to have all the inside. Because we have to have all the inside knowledge. It's like, okay, you gotta be able to communicate with people, man. It's like,
pretty much.
Look, if I would have just saw it, if I would have just watched it, I would have known it was a Mortal Kombat trailer or teaser. There's no way I would have known.
Oh man,
that was horrible. That was
but
horrible. For an insight,
I'm sorry.
Look, King 81 has been painting Mortal Kombat pictures since we were in elementary school, so I know how big of a fan he is of it. I'm just saying, for people who aren't as big of fans, that was horrible. That was horrible.
Well, I mean, for those out there that that definitely know stuff like that. Like,
I see what you're saying.
I still actually want to. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to, because if they revisit back to the first Mortal Kombat, they should be able to like bring back bring new characters that we never seen. It'll be interesting, but it's like, of course, they'll still have Goro in there.
What do you mean by that?
But it'll be interesting to see what other type of characters they'll have besides
King 81, can you hear me? What do you mean? Because I didn't quite understand what you meant. Because you said that if you go back to Mortal Kombat 1, you said if they go back to Mortal Kombat 1, they're going to bring new characters we've never seen. But if they're going back to Mortal Kombat 1, haven't we seen those characters? Do you mean like we've never seen them in 3D? Is that what you meant? Hello?
Oh, no. It's like when I say Mortal Kombat 1, it'll basically be the first ever tournament.
Oh.
Because these tournaments have been
I see what you're saying.
Going on for years. So this is supposed to be the first tournament where, it's like, because it's like at the end of the game on Mortal Kombat 11, you get to go back. Well, they went back in time. Basically, it goes off when you see, I believe it's Kung Lao's like great ancestor. You see him, and he's about to train to fight Goro or something like that. No, so it'll be interesting to see that type of universe of like when they first would start, fighting and stuff like that. So my understanding, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be no Sub-Zero. It shouldn't be no Scorpion or their type of clan, or So it'll be interesting to see what other new characters they bring to it besides Kung Lao, and maybe Raiden. I can see Raiden being there. Yeah.
I got a question for you, like, because I'm not a big. I mean, I enjoy Mortal Kombat in general, but I don't play it often.
Yeah.
Are they starting to do what I'm beginning to see a lot of fighting games do, where they're introducing the ability for people to kind of create their own fighters?
That's a good thing. That's a
Mortal
good thing.
Kombat. They tried that. I think it was the PlayStation 2. They did that with their Mortal Kombat where you can actually, I don't think it was create your own fighter. It was basically create your own fatality, and it didn't really work out that good with it and stuff like that. So I haven't really. I mean, not less than this version. They try to go down that route, but I think the only creating that they ever did have was create like your own fatality, and they didn't really have much success with that. And as far as like the people, now I think they did have some kind of avatar type of thing, but you couldn't really do nothing. But I mean, they may introduce it now, since just like you're saying, in some fighting games they're starting to bring that in.
Doing it, bro. I'm not. That Street Fighter
I really feel like their strong point where it's like they the other one they got coming
and Soul
out
Calibur. Soul Calibur.
Hey,
the reason why I brought it up.
I mean, all right, one at a time, everyone. One at a time.
Oh,
yeah. Hold on. King 81. King 81. The reason why I brought that up because I didn't know, because I heard when you were speaking about Mortal Kombat, there was an image of, it looked like Goro, but he had like this mask of Scorpion on. It was like a Scorpion with a Goro forearms and stuff. And it made me think, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Brian was sharing his screen. It may have just been a random image.
I saw it too. Search,
yeah. I think that's pretty interesting, because if they were to take the approach,
you know what? Doing, my bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, a question: are you saying like create like your own fighter?
Yeah,
because they do got a custom built where you can custom built, say, Scorpion, and you can change his clothes up and things. They got that type of stuff now. But if you're talking more of like create your fighter from scratch, nah.
So like Street Fighter,
they did have that.
They did, right? It seems like a lot of 3D games are doing that, because I mean it should be easy to do, because it's 3D, right? And all you're doing is changing the skin. So the mechanics of the fighting itself is already in the game, but you're not really changing that aspect. You're just changing the skin. But I heard Carbon was talking about Street Fighter, and yeah, I'm excited about Street Fighter 6. Like what they're doing in that approach, in terms of you can build your own character in the game that's a fighter, and you're basing the fighters mechanics off of existing characters. So you can have a Shoto as your base fighting style, like a Ryu or a Ken, and you would basically inherit all of their movesets. And it's a really interesting approach. I just thought, when I saw the Scorpion with 4 arms, I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. I never seen nothing like that in Mortal Kombat. I really like how Mortal Kombat also does the they take characters from other stories, like they took the Joker, Terminator. I would have loved to see Berserk, Guts. If Guts was in this game, that would be hardcore, because it seems like it would be a good crossover to see Guts in the hellish realm.
A lot of people have been pushing for Ash from the Evil Dead to be in it. I don't think they can get the rights worked out, but I think that'd be a good matchup too. Yeah. One thing I noticed too about this Shang Tsung, this is official art for the new Mortal Kombat. This Shang Tsung, you could tell they modeled him off the actor that played him in the original Mortal Kombat movie. because he looks a lot like in this 3D model looks a lot like
Mhm.
that guy. So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. It's kind of like a nice
Yeah,
throwback.
they did that in
Not that movie.
one. Not one. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11.
Not that check.
Not
So
that
the
one.
other
Yeah, not
check.
that one. The other one.
The
Yeah,
original
this guy.
check. Yeah,
This guy.
him.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can bring it back up. I had to stop watching the thing because it kept boring a lot.
Yo, click on that AI generated
Hey,
one.
still.
That looks dope.
Which one?
The one that has like the fire in the background in the top left. Yeah, that one.
You said
You know,
which one?
my eye can see AI art now, and I
Yeah.
automatically ignore it.
Oh, yeah. I know.
I just
I know.
ignore it. I was like, all right, yeah, AI.
But that's pretty cool. It looks like a
Holy
merge
shit,
between like
John
a
Wick,
Shang
and that'd be interesting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that would be dope. John Wick. Yeah.
Who's that? Snoop? Oh yeah,
Snoop Dogg. Putting Snoop
Dang.
Dogg in there?
Yeah, Shang Tsung. Yeah, Snoop
that's
Dogg
fine.
plays the Shang Tsung.
Definitely AI art.
Yeah.
All right, okay. That teaser was horrible though.
That's what's up.
I missed the
Oh,
teaser. What was the
yeah.
teaser?
It was just a clock. That's
It was
it. It was a
literally
clock.
nothing.
It was nothing.
It was a
You
clock.
literally missed
Yeah,
nothing.
it was just a
Yeah,
clock. That's it.
you just have to have knowledge of the game and games and stuff like that to get it. Because if
That's
you
not
was
how you
someone
get
just
new fans,
just
Orlando.
you was like, okay, what was that?
Oh.
I don't really think they're trying to get new fans, man. I really think they already got a following on it, man, and like I said, I would like to see like the first ever tournament of it, like them, going that route, and then introducing characters. For this, it'll have to be a lot more characters. They'll have to like bring in. Because only people you can really have is Shang Tsung, Goro, Shao Kahn. Gosh, well, yeah, I guess they could bring back Katana. No, she wouldn't be one now.
Yeah,
That's
Katana's been
interesting.
like in the
Yeah, so
original.
it'll be interesting to see what type of character. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go about it, because they can definitely bring in a whole bunch of more newer characters.
If they decide to make a Mortal Kombat movie, I think
They don't need to do that.
Uma Thurman would make a great Sonya Blade.
She's old.
Let's say she might be too old now.
Yeah, look at her. Uma Thurman.
Really? Wow. I
Well,
haven't seen Uma
now.
Thurman in a while. Kill Bill.
Yeah, she's old now.
But Orlando, I do
Yeah.
have a question
But she
though,
could
because
play
they're
a
releasing this
old
movie.
version. Yeah,
I don't know. Uma kind of got it now. I don't know.
they're releasing what now?
Nah, she's too old.
This game is being released at the same time as the new Street Fighter and the new Tekken.
Yeah.
I have met some Street Fighter, bro.
So they definitely are going to have to do something. Well, Brian's right. They got to do something with their promotion, because that's not going to work.
Yeah, marketing is terrible.
But secondly, if they don't bring something new to the table, it's going to get buried. It's going to get buried by Street Fighter and Tekken.
Mhm.
Because those two are already bigger and they have more of a fan base. So if they don't bring something
I thought
new
Mortal
to the
Kombat was
table,
huge. I could be wrong, but I thought Mortal Kombat was huge.
I mean,
I know
it is, but Street
I know
Fighter.
Street Fighter.
it's
I know
not.
Street
It's
Fighter
not
is
like
gigantic,
Street Fighter or Tekken. It's not like Street Fighter or Tekken. Especially Street Fighter. I mean, when the new Street Fighter drops, everyone stops.
You know what killed me with the new Street Fighter? I don't like the more realistic style. I think they should have went more of a Dragon Ball Z. You know that fighting game, that Dragon Ball Z fighting game that has a cell shaded 3D look.
Are you talking about Xenoverse too?
Fighter
Z. Yeah, I think let me look up.
No, Brian. That'd be too hard to do for custom characters. They don't do custom characters like that. I'm sorry, bro. They could have game with that with all the customization they have.
Yeah. Like
that game that you're thinking of came out.
Brian, they can't do that. So
the realistic Street Fighter looks like dog shit. I'm sorry, it looks like dog shit.
Brian, but they couldn't make that. You gotta understand, making cell shading is too complicated for especially a customizable character where your character's face can move. You have to change the rules for every little they're not doing this, and it costs too much.
You get rid of that customized crap. Nobody does it anyway. We want.
What do you mean that's the good part about the
legitimate-
game? What are you talking about? It's one of the new features. No, bro.
legitimate
I will say
cel-shaded
this though.
look.
You say that plenty of
Yeah.
people about to buy that Street Fighter game and enjoy it, bro. You might say that, Brian, but that's not the reality.
I mean, you're right.
Well, I don't know if
I'm not a
it's-
gamer. I'm just looking for pure aesthetics. It looks like dog shit. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's
I've never liked
cell
it.
shading or not.
Especially some of the-
maybe Guilty Gear,
especially
maybe,
some of
but
the
most
first-
fighting games aren't crazy.
Especially some of the like the first
Mhm.
Street Fighter 3D games. Like all the characters had big giant hands. Like even the women had these big giant hands. Like what the hell is going on with this? What is it called? Street Fighter 6?
Well, I don't know if Xenoverse is true. Is it true cell shaded or not? But you
It was a
could-
pretty popular game when it came out. Especially two. The first
But I
one,
mean-
the second one, it did a pretty good job. But it's
right, and you can make your own character in there.
Updated for like the last almost 8 years, bro.
Yeah,
the game's
see,
had like an 8-year lifespan.
Hey, Carbon,
Right.
listen to what John's saying. What'd you say?
Yeah.
What'd you say, John?
Oh, I was saying that Xenoverse, they were able to do it. I don't know if it's full cell shading or not, but it's definitely cell shading, and you can create your own character.
All right,
So
I want to ask you guys.
I think it's possible.
All right. So,
I don't know how.
No, it's not of Z's level though. You got to remember, it's more simplified.
All right, hold on, wait. Let me ask you guys this
It
question.
is. That's what I was saying.
Hold
It
on,
is more
everybody.
simplified.
Wait. Where's my gavel? I want to ask everybody this question. I want
I
you
can
guys
sense
to
Brian
give
about
me.
to slander Street Fighter.
I want to give you. I want you guys honest opinion of this cover right here. Honest opinion, like honestly, tell me. what
Why do
think
you
about
do
how
this, Brian?
What?
Why do you do this?
Because this looks like shit. This is unbecoming of Street Fighter. I'm sorry.
You
Look
trying to
at
make that
it.
better cover, Brian? You
It's
trying to make
not
a better
good
cover,
looking.
Brian? You trying to make a better cover? You trying to make a better cover?
I can make a better cover. I'm sorry. I can. I'm confident enough in my skills that I can make a better cover than that. And it won't be
Hold on.
goddamn 3D. You know.
Okay, all right. Okay, hold on.
It doesn't look great. Who is that supposed to be? Ken?
I guess it's
That's
Ken
that's
or
a new
Ken's-
character. That's one of the
Ken's,
new
Hold on.
son
it's
or
a new
something.
character.
is this
It's a
Kid
new
or
character.
Oh,
Why
this
is
is
the
new
new
character.
character on the cover though?
Well, he was
Even if it's a new
introduced back in
character, he
Street
doesn't
Fighter
look
5.
cool. He looks ridiculous. He
Wait,
just doesn't-
wait
it
a
just-
second. The G-flux The Magnificent. Hold on. 'Cause you do this all the time. You like slandering games, and you pull out the worst possible cover.
Here's another one. I mean, it's just not a good
You're
look.
doing it again. You're doing it again.
No, I'm
You
just
aren't
saying,
judging
it
by
goes
the
back-
gameplay. What
it
are you
goes
talking
back
about,
to-
dude?
No, you're right. I don't play games, so I'm not judging it by the gameplay. I'm judging it by aesthetics, like my first impression when I see something. And I'm sorry,
This is the movie. It's a game.
all the 3D Street Fighters look like dog shit. I'm sorry, they do. They don't look good. I don't
That is
like
your
how they
personal
look.
opinion. I'm sorry, bro.
It doesn't look like
They
Street
make
Fighter.
plenty of money, and
Look, I'm
people
sure
are
it
buying.
does. I'm pretty sure it does make a lot of money. I'm sure. I'm sure the
Enough people
gameplay
enjoy it.
is
What's
good.
what's wrong about the 3D model that kind of it doesn't?
I think it's too
appeal to you?
realistic. I think I like Street Fighter in more of a cell shaded. I think they should have went for more of a cell shaded look to match the older games. You know what I'm saying?
Like Street Fighter Alpha.
No, I mean like Fighter Z, like the Dragon Ball one I showed. I think that would have been a
Well-
better style.
Oh, okay. I see
Go
what you're saying
with.
as far as 3D
Yeah.
concerned. Yeah.
But
I
the other thing
kind
I
of
was
agree
looking at
with.
when I was looking at the cover, it's just like if I saw this cover, like this looks like some old like
That may not be
1990s
official.
1990s.
Brian, I will argue though that realistic covers is Street Fighter though. Like it's not a great cover, but it does fall in line with their history. Like if you go back and you look at a lot of their old covers, they had realistic portrayals of
Very
their.
true.
I mean that's
So, I mean-
that's all fine and dandy, but damn, at least make it look like look what's wrong with his face? Why does his face look like that?
Leave him alone.
Like, what the
That
hell
might
kind
be
of
his character.
That is just his
what
character.
expression is that?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
That might be
his
his
personality,
character.
bro.
So I wasn't commenting on the fact that the cover looked realistic. That was my general critique of the games in general.
But you were saying
this
that
particular
they shouldn't
cover,
do realistic.
this-
You were saying that they should do cell shaded. So that's
I'm saying-
exactly
No,
that's
I'm
exactly
saying-
one of the
I'm
issues that
saying-
you have with it.
No, you're not listening to me. When I was talking
That's
about
what you said.
Well, you weren't paying attention. You weren't paying attention. When I was talking about this cover in particular, I wasn't necessarily saying that it looks realistic. That's not my problem with it. I mean, it is part of my problem is I don't think Street Fighter should look like that. But my main problem with this is just the bad. It's just a bad image. It's the bad image. My larger critique of it is the games itself. I don't think should be this realistic looking when it comes to textures. I think they should have went more with the cell shaded look. Now I
But
know
that's
in
what
one
I'm
of the
that's
early
what I'm
ones,
saying. That
one of the
there's
early ones. See, if you
Perfect.
if you look at the progression here, it's gotten
Yeah.
more and more realistic.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the old ones either, even though they were a little bit more closer to more of a cartooning. I have noticed it looks like the hands. It looks like at least they tone the hand size down. They're big ass fucking hands.
I love that aspect. Can I
maybe for
mention
the
can I add
men,
some
but
commentary on this?
look at maybe for the men, but when you look at
Hold on.
You gotta remember how muscular the characters are, Brian. Like, even the females are super muscular. Okay,
I don't care how muscular you are, your hands are gonna get bigger like that.
Well, hold on, Brian. You got to think about
for the
games
men
in general. Like,
look how if you look at Chun-Li's hand compared to her head, come on, man.
Yeah, it's an exaggeration, but
no,
I think
it's just our stuff, man. Like that's why these characters'
problem.
hands are way bigger than their hands
hands
are way smaller on their head. Like, good lord.
That's my problem though. Exaggeration works. Does that. That's my problem though. Exaggeration, I think, works when you have more cartooning type of styles. But when you have this realistic look, and it just looks ridiculous. I just from an aesthetic point of view, I've always thought the 3D Street Fighter looks like dog shit. But that's just me.
Hold on. Leave that up. Because I think this is a good depiction of like the progression, like you were mentioning. I personally love Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, I think 4 had the best look.
Yeah, because it models, like if you look at some of the game art that was inspired for the 3D models, they have exaggerated proportions and very shapely muscles and forms. And I think that's a part of the appeal. I think once they got into Street Fighter 5 and started making it more...
Again, Derry, I think that works well for illustration and for more of a 2D
style. Hold on. But
when you go into 3D and then you're putting these realistic textures on it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because when you're... So, I don't know what Capcom's goal is with the 3D stuff. If they're trying to get it more and more realistic to appeal to a specific audience, or they're just testing technology and drawing it to a point where they want to fully utilize the technology that's available by providing the best, 3D detail and experience for the user. I'm kind of like you. I like traditional drawn 2D animations. I like anything that's reflective of 2D. The 3D stuff doesn't really appeal to me, but there's an audience for it. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's bad. I think when they're doing realistic models, I think it's appealing to a certain audience and possibly the technology that they're using.
What's the new Tekken called?
I don't think it has to be.
What number Tekken is it? 8? Is it Tekken 8?
The new one?
I didn't say anything about Tekken.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to bring up some stuff from. I just wanted to compare it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like. Street Fighter is going more and more towards more looking like Tekken. And I'm sorry that I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. This actually looks better than Street Fighter because they've been doing it longer. So I guess they've had time to kind of.
What makes it wrong though? Because in my opinion, it's about the emotional experience of the end product. Like, does the 3D realism?
It doesn't look like Street Fighter.
Negatively impact the experience.
It doesn't look like
story. You don't ever play Street
Fighter. Caleb, I've been playing Street Fighter before you were born.
You haven't played it all the way up to now. It's like you haven't played all the way up to now. You've been playing consistently, right?
So we're talking about playing consistently. You know why?
You just played one game.
You know why? Because they went to 3D. They went to 3D.
But to a fan that plays all the games, right? To them, they're not gonna care as much. You just played one game, like this is the only game that looks right. This is the only good one. Somebody who plays all the games is gonna think differently than you do.
Caleb, I am not disregarding that. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of Street Fighter fans who still play these games. This is my personal take on it from an aesthetic point of view. When I look at Street Fighter 6, if these are the new sprites, that's not Street Fighter. That is not Street Fighter. That's Tekken. That's all I'm saying. From an aesthetic point of view, that isn't Street Fighter. That's all I'm saying. It might play like Street Fighter, and people might still love it and have fun and stuff. I get that. I'm not disregarding that. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying from an aesthetic point of view, I don't get Street Fighter vibes from it. It doesn't look like Street Fighter to me. And I think if they went with the Dragon Ball Z Fighter route, I could see that.
I would love to see that.
Even the older ones, even though they didn't go completely realistic, they try to still kind of keep it somewhat I guess colorful. I
Yeah.
don't know. It don't look right to me. But that's just me. It's just me.
No, I agree. I see what you're saying now. It does give the Tekken type of vibe. But I don't know. In my opinion, like when I look at stuff like that, it's about the emotional impact. Like how cool is the imagery that's being produced? Like look at that. Look, I don't even know the name of that character, but that looks badass. That Tekken 8.
That's like in a cutscene too.
That looks cool. I have to give you, but Tekken's
That's a
known for this
cutscene.
type of style. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This looks way cooler than the Street Fighter stuff. You know, I mean, it
I
just
got a
does.
question over with
But it might be
the
lighting or
Street
something.
Fighter.
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead, Bigelow.
Okay, I know like with Mortal Kombat and Tekken, you know, they have like a storyline. I know Street Fighter has a storyline as well too, but do they actually do the storyline in the game? Like I haven't I'm not sure about the
Tekken
new
does, yeah, there's a
versions of
story mode.
Street Fighter. Like did they ever try that attempt? You said Tekken?
What do you
They
mean
do
in
it as well
game?
too.
Like,
I remember the Tekken
wait, hold on, hold on. Explain
like
that a little bit more. What do you mean in game? Like I don't understand.
basically it's like a storyline. Like basically as you're fighting, there's a story element
Like
to it.
cutscenes in
Like you can
between
show
your
story,
fighting.
like you can choose story mode.
Street
Yeah,
Fighter's always
it's
had
like
story
I
mode.
believe,
Yeah, Street Fighter's always had story mode.
okay.
You never play Street Fighter?
Cause see,
Really?
I play Street Fighter like when you're in a tournament and that type of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like when at story mode, it's like I never known for them to have like a cutscene. Like say Mortal Kombat, you can do the fighting. Like if you play the storyboard mode, you can be fighting and stuff like that. And once you finish fighting them, it continues. It's with cutscenes and things and stuff like that. I just never seen
there are
like Street
cutscenes.
Fighter.
There are cutscenes in the new
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I thought so.
The new one meaning Street Fighter 6, right?
Oh, Street Fighter 5.
Those ones.
I don't know about 6.
5.
Okay, all right.
Because 6 hasn't come out yet, but I know Street Fighter 5. There's actual cutscenes
Oh, the
and
demo came out.
story mode and all that.
Yeah.
All right, now see this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That is
there we
not
go.
Cammy. That's not
There we
Cammy.
go.
Age. What do you mean they're old? No, they're older in this. What are you
That is
talking about? The
not
age.
Cammy. It's
There
not.
we
Brian,
go.
they've aged in this game. Brian, what do you mean?
Oh
They're
my
like,
It's
God.
not her. That is not Cammy. I'm
He's
sorry.
old
That is
now.
not Cammy. That looks like a
Brian,
Tekken,
she's really older.
a Tekken fighter.
Show us the real
She's
Cammy,
old
Brian.
now. What are you talking about? All the characters have aged since the last game. That's the thing about this game. They're all become like mentors now. They aren't really
That's
super up
fine.
fighting as they
I
used
mean,
to
I don't
be.
have a problem with
okay.
that. You know,
So their designs changed to make them look older.
I do kind of like that one. But
Man, I say something on that though too.
I'm just saying in
I
general,
think I believe
it
they
just
took
does
a
not
page
like
out of
Cammy.
Mortal Kombat for that too,
That's Tekken, dude.
because they did the same thing as well too. I like the swooshes and stuff like that.
Doesn't Cammy wear rollerblades?
Oh, we're definitely off track here.
I thought Cammy wore rollerblades.
Unintended.
Oh no,
She does not have
six.
rollerblades.
I thought Cammy did wear rollerblades at once. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, she wore rollerblades.
What?
Because
Yeah,
remember,
this is my friend.
her inspiration was from Homegirl, Alita, Battle Angel, Alita, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the original Cammy had rollerblades.
No, the original. No, this is the original. She didn't.
Nah.
No, the original didn't have.
Yeah,
rollerblades.
she had she had those boots on.
Like
Yeah.
combat. She had combat boots on. Yeah.
Combat boots. Yeah, that's Cammy, not the rollerblade. I don't know where the rollerblades come
Well,
from.
I think the rollerblades was
Yeah.
like her second iteration when she had like the I think so. I can't remember.
Can you highlight that sketch? I'm curious about that sketch before you leave this page. Yeah, like who did that? Is this like a fan drawing?
Looks like a
'Cause-
fan thing. Yeah. Let me go to open
Yeah.
image.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But I just never knew
That's good, though. That's good.
Cammy's character having rollerblades. It is actually pretty interesting concept because it almost looks like partially mech.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is
going on.
I don't know if this
Drawing.
is official art though. Yeah, I like that.
Kind of reminds me of Streets of Rage.
Yeah. But we're gonna move on to my topic, guys. And my topic is I want to actually show some of the things I've been working on. It kind of ties in with Carbon X's. This is the 3D model that he's working on for the character that we're doing. Right now, we don't have a title for the story. Right now, we're just calling it Elf Story. And I actually kind of like that. Carbon X wants to call it something else, but I kind of like just Elf Story. I think that's cool.
Let's
but
vote on
this-
it. Let's vote on it.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain my drawing here.
What-
This
what's-
is huge. Why is this so large? Let me zoom out.
Wait a minute, what was Carbon X's title?
I never had an idea. We haven't got that.
He
We
doesn't
haven't
have an
finished the
idea
script, man.
yet.
What the?
Yeah, he doesn't have an idea yet. But yeah, but this is the basic character design. I finished laying. Well, I'm not quite finished. I still got to do the hair on these two. But these are like the base colors for it. I'm using a program called Clip Studio. And basically what I did was I took Carbon X's original model and I kind of sketched. He did like the original, like a naked version of her, and I just kind of sketched how I wanted the armor over it, and I kind of changed the proportions a little bit. And then Caliph is kind of going back in and kind of modeling the character. Right now he's blocking out the armor where the major parts are, and he's going to kind of like fine tune it. We're going to work on it tomorrow. John, you want us to come by tomorrow to work on it?
We're actually having Miss Owens is coming over, and she's having because WT's birthday's coming up, so she was having like a little celebration,
An anniversary type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And if y'all want to come over, y'all can come over, but you know.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. But yeah, this is one of the animated shorts that we're working on. We're going to do it in Blender and Unreal Engine 5, right? So we've been learning that. Later on, maybe we'll give you guys the audience a little snippet of the story. We'll do like a little synopsis or something like that. The next thing I'm working on is an album that we've been working on for the last 2-3 months called Infinite Tribe. This is the last drawing that I have to like paint and turn into a little animated thing. This is one of the this is next. Well, we'll talk about this one next. This is another drawing I've been working on for a YouTube video I want to do called Redesigning Reva, because when you look at Reva from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, it's not that she was a bad character. I just don't think she was fully fleshed out, and I think she was miscast. I don't think the lady that they got to play Reva was right for the part. I think they should have found someone else who had a little bit more gravitas, because there were certain scenes in that show where she's supposed to be tough, and it's like, okay, I just don't believe this. I don't believe this woman's that tough. Like, this is one scene where one of the other Inquisitors is like questioning her, and he like backs her up against like a brick wall, and she like pushes him away, and she's like, I'm like, no, not buying it. Like, they should have recast her. But anyway, long story short, I'm doing a YouTube short. I've already written the script. I just got to finish the artwork for it called Redesigning Reva, and I'm going to do two character designs based on the Reva character and what they could have done to make her more interesting and much better, so that because I think that's one of the problems with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. She was a major character that tied into the Skywalker story, and I think the fact that she was so weak brought the entire show down. You know what I'm saying? So the video is basically just going to be about my thoughts on what they could have done with Reva if they would have pushed her character a little further, made her more interesting. Next is a little sample. I'm gonna let the audience hear the music yet, but I'm a little sample of what we're working on for the album that I just talked about before, called Infinite Tribe. I'm working on it with one of our friends named Willis, and essentially it has like an Egyptian gold and black type of theme. Music is being done by one of our high school friends named dang. Rashid. I wanted to say Tariq Nasheed. But no, Rashid. And
it's probably Rashid.
Yeah, but his pseudonym is the Benevolent. And then in between those beats, we're gonna have our own beat maker, our own King 81 Arsenal Beats He's going to do a couple of tracks on there too. So the
Coming
next
through
one
with the audio
is another one that I did for, again, I'm going to turn the audio. The you guys won't hear the audio until the album releases. There's another one I did. Again, the Egyptian theme. This one is supposed to be based more on Anubis, I believe. Yeah, Anubis. I think this one I just wanted to have like just kind of like a bronze looking lady. And then I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. But that's basically what I've been working on, guys. I don't know when the Riva one's gonna come out. I just haven't had time to really work on it because I've been working on the Elf story and then doing all the editing and the thumbnails and all that stuff for the podcast. But I'm gonna try and wrap it up before the end of this month. So hopefully that video will come out soon. There's a couple of videos I wanted to do. I wanted to do a video called Redesigning Riva. I wanted to do another one where we talk about like a black Kryptonian, but we tell the story for it. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a narrative type of thing, where we come up with our own story. Because there's all this talk about making Superman black. I don't think they'll ever do it. I hope they don't do it. But I'm like, why? Like, I'm tired of the hand-me-down stuff. I don't want to see a black Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Just have some unique, interesting black characters. That's one thing I think people gravitated towards Black Panther, even though Black Panther's an old character now. He was his own character. He's his own man. There is no White Panther, and then he passes out a mantle to a Black Panther. No, he was his own person. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it'd be interesting if we did like it's a black Kryptonian, but it's not Superman. You know what I'm saying? And he has his own story or whatever. So I think that'd be interesting if we did something like that. Any questions? No questions.
Nope.
All right. Okay.
Definitely
So
coming
I like the way the Black Reaver looks.
you said
I like
what?
that. I say I like her hair. I like this hairstyle better. It reminds me. I when I see it, I think of like Grace Jones playing her.
That was the inspiration
with like all her like passion that she used to have.
Dude,
like,
if she was younger, she would have been way better person to cast.
Oh
yeah, if she was younger. But that was my inspiration, was Grace Jones, because I'm tired of Weave. Weave should not be in Star Wars. We should not bring black women's insecurities into Star Wars. I'm sorry, stop it. That like
I know I hate just the idea of Weave in general.
It's just annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying and it's stupid
very
looking.
frustrating.
I'm tired of seeing it.
Right.
I think they should have celebrated. If they're going to bring a black female character in, they should have celebrated her now. Because if you think about it, right, usually what they try to do with Star Wars, they did this for the Solo movie. And they did it for some of the other movies too. They styled all the people's hair from like a 1980s, late 70s, early 80s look for all the white characters, right? Because they wanted to kind of keep that look, that from where the movies were made, from when the movies were made. It became the style of Star Wars, right? And I'm like, as far as I know, you didn't see a whole bunch of black women wearing weave, in the 70s and 80s, especially not like how they wear it now with the ropes and all that stuff,
Right.
So I was like, why couldn't they do the styles that they were wearing in the 70s and 80s? Jerry, remember Lando? He had the Jerry curl, afros, fades. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have been more interesting and better. Also, another reason why I wanted to do it was because I want to push the character enough to where she's interesting enough that you don't think about her being black. You just think about her being an interesting character. And I think that's another problem with Star Wars is when they do the diversity hire, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. I don't have a problem with more diversity, right? But the thing is, all the diversity that you don't make the characters interesting. You know what I'm saying? They're just there because, and then
it feels cheap. It feels cheap.
Yeah, there's nothing really interesting about them. So
feels forced and whatnot.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like it's forced. Inclusive. What is it?
Inclusivity.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I think Riva actually had a pretty good story arc. It was just poorly executed. You know what I'm saying? It was poorly executed. Like conceptually, it wasn't a bad idea. It's almost like they rushed it. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I see what they're trying to do, but they got the wrong person to play the character, and there was some plot points and the way things were kind of. She was a Shaniqua in a Inquisitor suit. That's all it was. There was nothing. It didn't feel like Star Wars. Like they should have pushed her character further. Like give her some kind of personality other than angry black woman. If you're gonna go angry, go all the way angry. You know what I'm saying? Like make it hardcore. But I didn't buy it. I just didn't buy it. But conceptually, it wasn't a bad. Like the way her story kind of developed wasn't bad. It's just overall it was bad. But anyway, we'll move on. I think that was really the last topic. If anybody else wants to talk about anything, we can, or we can end it here. One thing I will say is our next podcast, John. I don't know if you were here when I said this. Our next podcast is going to be a movie review, where it's going to be a specific movie. It's called The Last Supper. Came out in 1996. So you guys' homework is to watch that movie before next Friday. Travis recommended the movie because he thought it was relevant to some of the things that are going on today in the world. So I figured it'd be a little bit of a change up. We'll watch the movie. We'll do our typical reviews, like how we would do any other movie. But just to be a retro movie review, like how we did in the first iteration of the podcast. Be a retro movie review. I've never seen the movie. So that's another reason why I think it'd be interesting. We've never seen this. I don't think anybody else on the panel has seen the movie other than Travis. So we're gonna check it out. So that's the only thing you got to do. Make sure you got one job, guys. One job. Watch The Last. Let's see. Because remember you asked Orlando if
wasn't that some type of comedy or something like that?
It might have been, yeah. The Last Supper, 1996. Let's see if you can watch it online.
Isn't there a comedy? Ron Perlman?
I've never even heard of this movie. I don't see where you can buy it or rent it.
I think it's that one with Ron Perlman, the guy that plays Hellboy.
Yeah, Ron Perlman's in it. It looks like. But I'm trying to figure out, can you rent it on YouTube? Rent The Last Supper. Usually it'll come up though if you can.
On YouTube and Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime.
Oh, so on Amazon?
Yeah, I got
okay.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Oh, okay, you can. You can rent it on YouTube too. How much is it? $3.99.
$4.
That's not bad, yeah.
$4.
Ain't bad. But he said to check it out, and then we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it next Friday.
All
right, guys. So if there's nothing else, we're gonna end this. This is our third Freeform Friday. Not bad. I kind of like this format because I can cut it up into shorts, and we can release shorts based on long form video. Because most people ain't gonna watch a 2-hour long video these days. Unless you're just extremely popular, you know what I'm saying? And where are we at right now? I think we've got another subscriber yesterday. We're up to 426 subscribers. Thank you, all of our subscribers. Thank you for your support. And we'll try to keep releasing content and getting better and better at doing it, and give you some worthwhile stuff to look at and listen to. Keep an eye out for our shorts and our albums, and we'll see you next Friday.
Cool.
Lucent Studio.